Hello everyone, I am Josh and welcome to this Sims 3 house building video. So today I am building a modern mountain house here in Hidden Springs, and as you can see it's on a very steep hill. I said it's a mountainside, so that pretty much tells you that. It's on a pretty steep mountainside here, and that's what's really cool about it. And there's quite a lot of different aspects to it, in which you'll see the first floor is kind of like partially above ground and partially underground, and it's just really cool. And yeah, you'll see it come along nicely. So this house, because it's built on this mountainside, or not because it's built on this mountainside, but to get this house built on the mountainside, I couldn't use any of the default lots because, none of them are very interesting. Most of them are flat. So I had to custom place this lot in edit town mode. So normally this lot is not actually here, and I'm not entirely sure what size it is. I think it's 30 by 30 or maybe 40 by 40. I'm not entirely sure. It's definitely square though. But if you want to download the house, which you can, there's a link in the description. But if you do want to download it, it's not really going to work too well on many other lots because it will be very weird. What I actually should do is try placing it on some other lot and just see what happens. But it would probably be quite bizarre, to say the least. So you probably want to place it in roughly the same location I have it here. So hopefully there'll be a picture on the screen right now that shows you where in the world I put this lot, so you can kind of try to place one in the same location and put this house on it. So the only downside to this house's location is that it takes forever for your Sims to walk to it because it's really far from any kind of road or anything. So it's, it's quite a hike for your Sims to get here, but it's still pretty cool and I'm really happy with it. So yeah, because there's not too many places where you can build a house like this in The Sims 3 without placing your own lot. So yeah. Anyway, this house uses a lot of constrained floor elevation, as you can probably imagine. I mean, you already saw that I had to use it to get that first floor to kind of be partially underground. It's not really underground, but it's kind of like the back of the first floor kind of runs up into the mountainside. So, I had to use constrained floor elevation for that. And then I also put a freeze level in too, which also is interesting, and you'll see that relatively soon. I don't do it yet, but yeah. I think the shape of the house at this point changes quite a bit because I was not happy with it at all. Frankly, it's pretty ugly. Depending on the angle you look at it from, it's pretty bad. Especially from the front, especially from the part where you look up from the mountain. It's just like one gigantic box pretty much right now. I do change it quite a bit because it just was not attractive in its current state. So, I was just experimenting around with it and just seeing kind of what would happen if I did this or that or whatever. You can see here I'm putting some stairs in so your Sims can actually walk up to the house. Although, in my playtesting, my Sim didn't really like to use the stairs. They kind of just walked around the stairs. So, I don't know. Maybe they don't like the stairs for some reason, but they're there. They look nice, so I guess that's a bonus. Yeah, here I'm just messing around with some roofing, and I was going to put fencing. I actually am putting fencing in, which is nice. It's very convenient to have some nice glass fencing. It's a very modern house, so of course it has the modern glass fencing. The original color scheme was just going to be white and black, or black and white, but I didn't end up doing that. I ended up using a lot of stone, which I wasn't going to use from the beginning. I wasn't planning on using it, but it turned out looking a lot better than just the black and white. So I used some stone and then some white and some gray, which looks quite nice, and you'll see that. Because right now it just looks really unnatural, and it just did not go well with the landscape at all, so, I do change it quite a bit. Yeah, so here I'm just adding in holes for some skylights and stuff, and yeah, so there's nice glass pieces there, and I've put a lot of glass flooring in this house, actually. There's some on the roofs, and I also have some over the entranceway to the house, so the dining room has a glass floor that looks down to the entranceway, which is pretty cool. And I think I'm going to start working on that right about now, and it's really neat, especially from below, because you kind of look up and see the underside of the dining table. So it's kind of like peekaboo. It's not really peekaboo. I don't know. That was dumb. I'm sorry. Why did I say that? I don't know. But yeah, it's cool. You get the idea. It's pretty cool. You can see through the floor, which is always nice. Pretty modern and special, I guess. And you can see there's the glass floor tiles there. They're really carpet pieces technically, but I don't know why they're in carpet. It seems a little bit of a weird place for it, but whatever. Here's the focal place fireplace, or the focal point of the living room, which is the fireplace, which is really cool. It's kind of on that angle wall, of course, and the living room is really cool because it wraps around that whole front of the house, that whole lower level is kind of all the living room. It just kind of wraps around, so you can pretty much get views from like all around, like everywhere, which is really cool. And as you'll see in the screenshots at the end, it's so nice, like looking out from the living room, like you can just see like the whole world, like all of Hidden Springs, like kind of laid out below. It's really neat. Yeah, so here you can see I'm completely redoing the second floor because it was horrible, and you can see it looks quite a bit better now that it kind of matches the shape of the front of the house, kind of has some angles in it, and you know, it just looks better. And over here I'm going to expand the house a bit to fit in a master bedroom, which kind of hangs out, which is really kind of cool. So you'll see it here, it kind of just hangs off outside of the house. It's got some really tall posts that hold it up, so it's pretty cool. And the views from the master bedroom are also pretty spectacular too. So you know, it has the same kind of views as the living room. So you'll see that here. I'm just putting in some supports because otherwise you cannot build walls just out over nothing, unlike The Sims 4. Like one reason I really still like The Sims 3 is just because of the terrain editing. Like this house is simply impossible to build in The Sims 4 because you can't have any form of terrain editing. It's like The Sims 4 is just flat lots or nothing. So like this is just so cool. Like, you know, like the whole idea of the house is based off of the fact that it's kind of hanging off the edge of a cliff, or that's built, not a cliff, but mountainside. It's built into a mountainside, and you know, it's just so cool. Like that's, you know, it's like all my Sims 3 houses I come and build, I use the terrain kind of in a way that enhances the house. Like, what was the last house build I did in The Sims 3? I think it was Winter Getaway, which actually wasn't that long ago. But anyway, you know, that house had like a lot of terrain editing I did there. It had the driveway that went down under the house, so the garage was under the house, and you know, the house before that I think was had the same kind of thing. You know, and like it's just so cool. And like I did a few houses that were like over the water, like over the ocean, and just like stuff like that you can't do in The Sims 4. And, you know, it's just so cool. And this is one of my favorite houses I've built in a while, just because it's so unique in every way. So you can see here I'm putting in some more skylights and stuff, and I just kind of edited the front of the house there to make the shape a bit better. Here I was still sticking with that black and white theme. It just didn't like it. It just didn't fit in with the surroundings. So I brought in the stone, which is like a nice natural element, and it helped a lot. And then I kind of lightened up the black a bit to a kind of medium gray, and then it just, you know, all blended a little bit better together. I mean, still the contrast of the black and white is really cool, but I don't know, I just felt it looked better with a little bit more of a neutral color scheme outside. So anyway, here I'm expanding the downstairs so we can fit an extra bedroom in. Like, right now I pretty much have added 2 bedrooms to the house because without them, it would only have 1 bedroom, and it'd be a very small bedroom. So, you know, actually the house is not that big, despite how it looks. It really is quite small inside. You know, because I think a lot of it is because of the vertical space it takes up. It's a very tall house, especially from the cliff side, because, you know, you have the whatever you call them, the, you know, thingamajigs, whatever. Oh my gosh, my mind is blanking. The foundations. You have the foundations, and then you have the first floor, and then you have the second floor, and then you have the third floor. I have a hair in my mouth. Hold on. Ugh. How'd that even happen? I don't know. Sorry. That's why my voice sounded probably funny. Oh my goodness. It tickles so much on your tongue. Okay, sorry. You know, so it's a very vertical house, you know, so it just looks really big, but really it's only got 3 bedrooms inside, and 2 of those are very small, and then it only has 3 bathrooms. So it's not that big. It does have 2 living rooms though, so I guess, you know, that takes up a bit of space, but, you know, still, it's not like a massive house or anything. And it's not hugely expensive too, considering it's a house I built. I think it's like around 250,000 simoleons near the end, which I know is expensive, but considering I built it, it's not that expensive for a house I built, because I tend to build really ridiculously expensive houses, you know, because I don't care about the price or whatever. It turns out how it turns out, pretty much. Here you can see I'm incorporating some stone into the design, which helps quite a bit, makes it look quite a bit fancier, you know, fancy smancy. And, oh, ooh, that's a lot of stone there on the top. I don't do that at all, in any way. Oh yeah, later I incorporate some actual roofs. I put in, you know, some like corrugated metal roofs that look really cool. I use a couple of them, and that kind of adds an extra element to the house. I think I do that considerably later though. because this is a relatively long house build. We're only like a third of the way through, so there's still quite a bit more yet to happen. So I think it's like 35 minutes total. The video is 35 minutes, but it's like 30 minutes of building. So it's a pretty long house build. But, you know, it's because I messed around with the outside so much. Like, we still haven't gotten to the inside of the house yet, and we're already 10 minutes in. So, you know, you can see the structure was a challenge because of the mountainside thingy and all that. So, yeah. Anyway, here's the floor plan, which is pretty cool. You can see 2 bedrooms there. None of the downstairs bedrooms have windows, which is a little unfortunate, but it's just the way it is because, you know, the house does back up to a mountain. I mean, it's like built kind of into the mountain, so that back part of the house isn't going to have any windows, at least on the first floor. The second and third floor have windows out that side because there's no way I could put those like obscured by the mountain because I can't do that. I only have one level max, kind of like fit under the ground like that. And it's really weird the way I did it. It's like floating. The first floor, because there's a foundation, because normally I'd use a foundation to make kind of like a walkout basement style, because that's pretty much what this is, because, you know, one half is like, you know, flush with the ground, like the ground comes up to the top of the wall at the back, and the front is fully exposed, right? So it's kind of like a walkout basement. Normally I'd use a foundation for that because it's very easy to do, and it doesn't even require constrained floor elevation at all. But because I wanted the foundation to be kind of those supports, which you can see under the house, I had to use walls for the walkout basement type of thing. So I can't, you know, I had to kind of make it float because I didn't have to, but I wanted it to. So it's actually like a little gap between the bottom floor of the first floor and the ground that you can see it if you go all the way, like move all the way down the walls to the foundation level. It's like, or if you just like level out the ground so you can see through there. It's kind of floating, which is a little weird, but obviously it's impossible to tell once the ground is, you know, there. So just the way I had to do it. It's kind of weird, the way I had to do it. So, but you know, it turned out well. It worked out, so that's cool. Anyway, all the roofing is done now except for the angled roofs I told you about that are going to be coming soon, but not yet. But yeah, for the most part, the flat parts of the roof are done anyway. Oh wait, here we go. Oh wow, that happened sooner than I thought it was. Okay, wow, that's exciting. There's the one angled roof anyway. The solar panel, yeah, the solar panels I thought would be cool. I didn't do them though. I do have 3 windmills though, which is kind of neat. So I do have that. There's 3 kind of wind turbine thingies that are kind of interesting, and they do turn. They do spin, and they actually are supposed to reduce the energy cost, like the bills for this house, because you have wind turbines. So, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. There's also solar panels in the game, but I didn't bother using them here. I couldn't find them anyway, so it's like, whatever. Yeah, anyway, right now, that's hideous. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, geez. Yeah, so I change what this is now. I don't do it like this in any way. The roof goes the other direction. Not that direction. Come on, almost got it. Oh, there we go. I had to get rid of, like, all the skylights and stuff there. Oh, I had it there. Oh, there you go. Beautiful. Yeah, so that's the final roof pretty much. I'm going to add some foundations, of course, but pretty much that there is the final roof shape anyway. I'm going to add some coloring to it because right now it's, there you go, beautiful. Final roof complete. So yeah, there you go, beautiful final roof. And yeah, so I think now we're going to be getting windows here, so you can see putting in some windows. All of the windows on this house, I don't know if I want to say all of, but I'm pretty sure all of the windows in this house are from Into the Future, and I love them because they have the tint, so they're all like white tinted from the outside, but completely clear on the inside, so it just looks really cool because, you know, I didn't need to use any curtains or shades or anything on the windows because they're already tinted, so you can't really see in very well, and also because the house is so far away from anywhere else that it doesn't really matter. It's not like there's going to be people walking by and like seeing into your house or anything, so, you know, but it's still pretty cool. I love those windows, and because they're just like, they're almost seamless, so like they join together really nicely, and there's no like panes, not panes, whatever you call like the vertical pieces in between window panes. I guess they are the panes. I don't know, I'm no window expert, but you know, you have the, well, the panes are the glass pieces, and then like the frame. I guess there's no framing in between the panes really. It's kind of more seamless, and it looks really nice. There I am trying to get a look at the view, but it's really hard in build mode to do that. So I had to wait till I finished the house and went into live mode to do that, but yeah. Anyway, I think now we're moving on to, oh, I'm going to add a little bit of constraintful elevation action here to, I don't know what I'm gonna do, like just thicken up this area, I suppose, because it was lacking, I guess. You know, needs a little bit of detailing, I don't know, whatever. Yep, so just gonna add some paint on that, there you go, and that's now complete. So now we're moving on to some other parts of the interior. So we have some bookshelves I'm gonna be putting in here. I was looking for bookshelves that didn't have like a back panel because I wanted, you know, the windows to still like be behind the bookshelves, so you can see through the bookshelves, out the window, and down to the world or whatever. I don't know. So the only issue is these bookshelves, which are, you know, fulfill that perfectly, but they have these stupid, ugly boxes in them that just, you know, because they're from University Life, they're really cheap bookshelves, but they're the only ones that like fit perfectly in there and have like no back to them. So that was kind of sad. Anyway, you can see I have some nice built-in bookshelves down here on the first floor. There's the TV, there's the couch, and there's a door. Took me a while to choose a door to go to this area. I eventually found one. Just, you know, taking our time and do. There's the door. Fantastic. And, yeah, so, you know, pretty fancy. Touching up the terrain here a little bit because it needed touching up, I suppose. And, yeah, so there you go. Nice bit of terrain touching up. So it just looks a little bit more natural and organic. And, yeah, so all that is done. Now we've gotten those technicalities out of the way, or whatever you call them, I don't know. Anyway, oh, there's a chimney that disappeared out of nowhere. Yeah, so now, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, like, looking at the house. I do that quite a bit. It's like, I just don't feel like building, so I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna not observe, but I'm just going to look at what I've done thus far. And then I'll grudgingly go back to building and finishing it up, you know. So, I don't know. Just some days I'm just not in the mood to build. I don't know, like, this video, like, this house build, like, took me quite a while to do, because, like, I started working on it, and I would work on it for an hour, and then, like, ugh, I'm not in the mood anymore, and then I'd come back the next day, work on it for another hour, like, ugh, I'm not in the mood anymore, then come back the next day, you get the idea. So it took me quite a while to build this, not because, it, you know, just because I couldn't sit still and build this house for, like, all in one sitting, or at least in, like, 2 sittings for some reason. I don't know, I wasn't in the building mood this weekend, I suppose, who knows, but anyway, I got it done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's pretty fantastic, if I do say so myself. Anyway, here you can see the kitchen is coming along. You know, very fancy, modern kitchen, using a lot of into-the-future cabinets in here. Also some late-night cabinets, too, but a lot of into-the-future cabinets. The colors and, like, furnishings and stuff I used in this house is kind of interesting. I definitely went on the bolder path. I didn't quite do EA's idea of bold, like, you know, the Sims team, when they build houses, at least in the Sims 3, the houses they built in the Sims 3 are kind of horrifying because of, like, the overuse of clashing patterns, but, you know, like, really bright, bizarre colors. But with this house, I did that kind of thing, but I only used it, you know, like, here and there because, you know, there's a lot of white in this house. It's a very, like, you know, simplistic, clean house, so you can kind of use those, like, bold patterns and bright colors as, like, an accent or, like, a pop of color or something. Just as long as you don't use it everywhere, it's not too bad. So that's what I ended up doing here, and it actually looks pretty cool. You'll see it, especially in the living room and the kitchen. There's some purple in the kitchen, which is kind of interesting. There you can see the dining room with the glass flooring, which I do tint white later, so you'll see that. But yeah, pretty cool dining room. Very awesome. We got that glass flooring going on. There's also a small living area in the front there, which is, well, no, it's hard to, like, you know, say, there's the living room because I'm constantly moving around, so whatever, you know, you'll see it when we get to it, pretty much. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just, like, again, looking at the house, admiring my work, I suppose. And yeah, so now we're finally beginning on the interior of the house. It took me long enough, I guess. I mean, like, what are we at? We're like 19 minutes in or so, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting, and here's some nice, lovely wood flooring as well, which I don't know how much of that flooring I use in this house. I don't know, I feel like wood flooring doesn't entirely match this house, but I guess I used it in quite a lot of places. Who knows, whatever, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Yeah, but almost all the walls, actually I say almost, I think all of the walls in the house are white, except for the ones that have stone on them as accents, but pretty much they're all white. So it's like a very clean look. So, you know, it's like very simplistic, very, you know, modern, obviously. Hence the name of this house, Modern Peak. Yeah, I called it Peak because I couldn't think of like a better name. Like, I could have called it like Modern Mountain House or something, but that's kind of long. So like Modern Peak, who knows? It's kind of like the house itself is kind of like a mountain-ish. That makes no sense. I don't know. The house is the peak of the mountain. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Whatever. We can just like think of it that way, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, there's a plant or two, I guess. You know, gotta make it look a little fancy schmancy. So getting in some plants, some living, breathing things. I don't know. Do plants breathe? Not really. Well, they take in carbon dioxide and emit oxygen. So I don't know if that counts as breathing though. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, there's some plants in there, and there's a nice rug. Here comes a pop of color. Warning, pop of color incoming. Right now, oh, there you go. Beautiful. Yeah, so you got that interesting pattern and like that purple. So there's a pop of color. That's the first one. And then, you know, there starts to be more of them around the place, which you'll see. There is a sectional sofa from Into the Future, which looks interesting. And the view from this room, too, is really nice. It's a really cool view. There's also that small upstairs living room has a 2-story ceiling as well, which is nice. As you can see that there's a small opening that looks down to it, which is pretty fancy. And there's also a piano in the main living room. I move it from the 3rd floor down to the 1st floor, so you'll see that. But that's pretty cool. And I'm also going to get in some doors as well. It's good to have some doors. There's 1 door, there's 2 doors, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and how many doors are there? 5 or 6. I don't know. I lost track. I was going too quickly. Anyway, well, we're back in the kitchen. I totally forgot about the kitchen. Yeah, we were in the kitchen briefly, then we left, and now we're back in the kitchen again. Yay! There's some like tables and some like chairs strewn about, just to kind of make it look interesting, I guess. I don't know. It's not very neat, but I think it looks kind of cool. I'm putting some details in. I also get some purple neon lights because, you know, why not? Why not? Can I get that 20s vibe in an ultra-modern house? Who knows? Anyway, they look kind of cool, so I kept them. And also get a really interesting purple rug as a pop of color in here. I go through a lot of patterns before I decide on it, but there you go. There's the purple rug. Oh yeah, you know, that's just cool. I like it. You know, and it's not like overdone. I mean, it's like the purple strips and the purple rug, and that's about it. Otherwise, it's like all white, but, you know, it looks nice. Pretty happy with it. So there's another one of those rugs. So you can see the rugs bringing the color into the room. You have the kind of blue and purple, and I'm just going to put in, you know, some bit of furniture here, a bit of furniture there. There's an art easel, so if your Sims want to get creative and paint something, they can do that. And also there's some pots with some plants in them, some plantae. Even though that's not a word. Is plantae a word? I don't know, that's not a word. What am I talking about? Oh, geez. Yeah, plants. Some lovely plants. There's another plant there. Speaking of plants. There's a lamp, which looks nice. And yeah, so pretty cool. Also a bookshelf. Yay, yay for bookshelves. And yeah, so yep, this voiceover is going pretty much the way most of my voiceover has been going recently. Kind of crazy. Okay, so yeah. Here's the living room, which is actually pretty cool. So you can see we have these lovely couches here. There's 2 of them, 2 chairs, and like the living room is cool because like the way it wraps around the house. It's kind of like a 3-sided living room, you know? And kind of like 3 parts of the room. Like, it's the entrance part, there's like the main living room part, and there's like the piano part, because there's like a piano in the 3rd section, which is pretty cool. And I'm really happy with it, because it turned out pretty nicely. You know, got some color in there. You see the green chairs. I also put some interesting rugs in as well, which brings some more color in, and it just looks really cool. Yeah, there's 2 rugs, and I kind of put some interesting patterns on them that make them look kind of interesting. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, it definitely has an interesting vibe, and it doesn't like look too cold because, you know, it's a very white house. So I kind of wanted to make it look a little lived in, kind of like a little decorated. So it's just not like, you know, a completely cold modern house. You know, it has some warmth to it with its, you know, kind of bright colors and stuff inside. So yeah, anyway, you can see there's the rug action complete, and I'm also going to put a little pond in the entranceway, which is nice, a little fish pond. Oh, here's the windmills, or the wind turbines, or whatever you want to call them, out the back of the house, which is nice. Not like the most beautiful things in the world, but they're kind of cool. There's a little pond in the entranceway, so you got that, which is kind of fancy. Also a lamp as well, and some other such things around the place. There's a little side table there underneath that box of plants, which actually looks really cool. Kind of looks like one object, kind of, which I thought was neat. So it's kind of like a wall hanging item, but I put the table and it fit perfectly. These little the shoe rack I just put there, I did some play testing and I discovered that your Sims couldn't get up the stairs because that shoe rack was blocking the stairs. So I moved the shoe rack. So if you download the house and there's wow, I can't speak English right now. If you download the house and you're wondering why the shoe rack magically is moved, it's because I moved it, because you wouldn't even be wondering about the shoe rack anyway. So here I'm putting some terrain paint outside because, why not take a break from furnishing for a while, do a bit of landscaping, putting in some rocks, make it look all fancy schmancy. There's some rocks here, some rocks there, some rocks everywhere, not really everywhere, but you get the idea. So nice rocks by the entrance there, which looks really cool. It kind of makes the stairs blend in a bit more, helps the stairs blend in a bit more. Like standing out like a sore thumb. And yeah, so that looks pretty cool. And yeah, yippee, that's all done now. So I think we're gonna move back inside actually. I hope we do because there's still so much more to do. Yeah, so putting in some lighting and just kind of looking at how it looks from the outside at night. I'm also gonna take a couple screenshots here because I thought it looked pretty cool. There's one screenshot and there's another one. I posted those on Twitter, so if you didn't see them, you should go check out my Twitter and you'll see them there. They look pretty fancy. Yeah, so downstairs in this little hallway, I have kind of a planter box thing, which it's not realistic because there's no way that plants could grow down there because there's no natural light, there's no windows, but it still was kind of cool. It's like a little installation of something. It's just interesting, Who knows, maybe there's some kind of artificial light that keeps them alive or something, I don't know. It looks cool though. Anyway, here we have one of the bathrooms, which frankly, could not fit that giant corner tub. Sadly, none of the bathrooms could. And this bathroom actually couldn't even fit a shower in with the 2 sinks. So yeah, this is actually the only bathroom in the house with 2 sinks. And now that I look at it, I don't know why I did that. Because there's no reason to have 2 sinks in this bathroom. Okay, look, if you download the house, put a shower in this bathroom instead of one of those sinks because it's really dumb. Because there's a bathroom right across the hall that has a shower and only 1 sink, and even the master bathroom doesn't have 2 sinks because there wasn't enough room. So I don't know why I put 2 sinks in there and no shower. That was silly, but whatever, that's what I did. So, whatever. Here we're working on the guest bedroom, which has a stage in it, which I thought was interesting. Kind of add a little bit of dimension to it. It's kind of got a tiled half and a carpeted half. Not really half, but there's a tiled part and a carpeted part, which is kind of interesting. It is unfortunately a very small bedroom. As you can see, it's really tiny actually. But it's still bigger than the other bedroom, so that's good. But it's still really tiny, and it's kind of depressing because there's no windows down here. So, it's really strictly a guest room. So it's if you have guests, you're going down there in the basement. I don't know, it's not really the basement, but you're going downstairs because, you don't get there is no nice bedroom other than the master bedroom. So, it's a little unfortunate, but, it looks pretty good. I like the furnishing and how it turned out, so that's all good. It's kind of got a nice green color scheme to it and all that jazz. And yeah, so there's a nice little rug there with some kind of diamonds on it. They look kind of like plum bobs. I thought that was neat. Anyway, there you go. Bedroom complete. Actually, it's not complete. I do put that table in. Once I do that, then it'll be complete. So we're almost there. There you go. Complete. And we're working on another bathroom here. So this bathroom is the one with the shower. And also the showers are against that window. So if your Sims are taking a shower, that window, they're in full view of anything outside the window. Thankfully, there is nothing outside the window other than the underside of the master bedroom and just a mountainside. So thankfully, I don't think anyone can see your Sims showering in there, but it's just something to keep in mind that it is quite exposed. There's no really privacy to that shower, but it's okay. Well, there is because you can't see the bathroom window from anywhere outside really. So, it's fine. Anyway, that bathroom's done. There's a little fans on the wall there, some Chinese fans. Which look interesting, or Asian fans. I think it's some World Adventures, so it's probably for the China world or whatever. Anyway, this tiny, tiny little bedroom here is for the kids. It's a little kids' room. So it's got a red color scheme and also some posters and stuff, obviously, gotta make it look like a kid lives in there. So I guess it could also be made into a guest room with a single bed, but I want it to be a kid's room, so here we go. Posters galore and some paintings and pictures too. Anyway, looks pretty cool. It's a classic kids room. I also use the SimCity poster in here too. The SimCity Cities of Tomorrow, which incidentally I never got that game. I never got the expansion pack, the one and only expansion pack for SimCity. Never got it. I had no desire to. I don't play SimCity anymore. Like, when I first got the game, like, wow, it was a long time ago. It's already, like, when was that game, 2013? Jeez, it's already over 2 years old. Anyway, when I got that game, I played it a lot, but then I discovered Cities Skylines and realized that SimCity looks like crap compared to Cities Skylines, because you can actually build properly large cities in Cities Skylines. So, you know, that's what I play now. And there's also, I have a series on my channel for Cities Skylines. It's just a speed build series, there's no voiceover or anything, but you can check that out too if you're interested in that. Yeah, so anyway, we finished the master bedroom while I was, actually we didn't finish it, I thought I did, but I didn't. We just, you know, put in a bed and stuff, and yeah, also a nice closet here in the master bedroom. It's obviously not a real closet, you know, but there's no door to it, but it still has some clothes in it, and it's like some shoes and some stuff, you know. It looks like a closet, looks nice. There's also a little sitting area in the master bedroom. Of course, there's also a TV, so your Sims can lie in bed and watch TV, which they actually can do in The Sims 3. They can't do it in The Sims 4, but they can watch TV in The Sims 3 in bed, which is nice. Anyway, nice little sitting area. A lot of rugs on the floor. I definitely did some very interesting rugs. I guess if you don't like them, you can delete them, but I thought they looked kind of interesting. And anyway, here's the tiny master bathroom. I couldn't fit double sinks in here with a shower and a tub, so I ended up sacrificing one of the sinks for a tub. But like in The Sims, I never have two Sims, well, not never, but I very rarely have two Sims use the bathroom at once, so I don't think it's a very big deal, you know. So, you know, it's just one sink, but it's alright. And also there's some nice artwork there, another little rug on the floor, and it looks pretty classy, so there you go. Fancy schmancy bathroom. Not really, but you know, get the idea. Anyway, we're moving on to the third floor here. It has a little office area, so there's a nice little desk with a computer. There's also a foosball table and another little bookshelf installation as well, which looks nice, and a little mirror for no reason. And yeah, so pretty nice little third floor area, just like a one room on the third floor there. But it's still pretty neat. There's also a nice piece of artwork there, some plumb bobs on the wall. And yeah, so now I'm finally going to add the final touches, and we'll be done with this house build. So I'm just going to put in some black in all the areas where your Sims cannot go, just so it kind of looks a little cleaned up and neatened and all that kind of stuff, you know, because I like the look of that. And yeah. So there's going to be some screenshots after this building part, which I hope you check out. You really don't have to, there's not much effort to check them out. All you need to do is just continue watching the video, so hopefully you won't click away before the screenshots. Hopefully you stick around for those. They're pretty cool. The house looks really nice, especially when you see it from inside. And there's some nice outdoor chairs here. There's also a little grill and sink there on the third floor rooftop, so kind of a semi-outdoor kitchen, you know, a pseudo. It's not like a full it's not a full kitchen, but it's a grill and sink. It's also a nice little umbrella-topped table here, and I'm also going to put another little sitting area on the other outdoor section as well, which you'll see, so it looks pretty nice. There's a little plant there. I say little plant, it's actually a fairly large plant. And here I'm putting in some sofas out here on this outdoor area, which the view from that area is beautiful. You'll see that in the screenshot. I think it's the final screenshot. Really cool. And also putting in some lighting on the roof and everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please check out my channel. Consider subscribing if you like what you see. And yeah, so adding the final touches here. I was going to put some ceiling lights on these this balcony here, but I didn't do it. So, you know, put some floor lighting in. And yeah, so I'm going to finally touch up on the landscaping. I think I said goodbye. I didn't say goodbye yet, but I was like starting my conclusion a little early there, but you know, I tend to do that. It's hard to judge when the video is going to end. Like, I can see when it's going to end. Like, I have my timeline here, but still, it's like, it happens quicker than you expect, so that's why I started the outro so early. But anyway, I'm putting in some bushes and stuff, and some rocks, make it look nice and fancy schmancy. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this house. It turned out really nicely, pretty awesome. Also going to move the mailbox and trash cans so they're not like halfway down the mountainside, because that's a little inconvenient, so I'll move those. For your Sims convenience. Anyway, we're pretty much done here. Hope you enjoyed, hope you liked the screenshots, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day, and yeah, bye guys.